Let's get into episode 2. Holy crap. We had a lot of speculation about Sam Riegel's character, just based off the stats. Didn't make sense. Also, he used thaumaturgy. Thaumaturgy is a weird cantrip to be using. Um, so yeah, if you're on the stream right now, and you didn't see episode 2, you should leave right now. Because, holy crap. I don't know where to even begin. I think the cliffhanger is something that's very strong. I figured, and I called it about Sam Riegel's character. He wanted to play a very different character, and we've known that. His stats, however, were not even remotely aligned to being a cleric, and he seemed such, especially in this episode, so gullible and not aware of his environment, and the fact that tyranny was constantly ahead of him in the knowledge of his family and the organization of his religion. It was so well acted by Sam Riegel and everybody. It was just, I love watching those two go back and forth, and to have tyranny be so much more aware of that person's story, I thought was absolutely brilliant. I'm going to move to the slideshow, just so we have that. So Whitney Moore was absolutely killing it. That whole back and forth between Whitney and Sam was absolutely insane. Great acting. Loved every moment of it. And you can feel it build. I didn't think we were going to get here this fast. But clearly, I think Sam Riegel is playing a divine soul sorcerer, which means he has divine blood. And now we know where he got it from. His granddad, who is a hot mess, because the fact that every single celestial and angelic creature went completely feral and wild the moment that the gods died is a lot to unpack. And the fact that his divine power and the divine blessings that they've been handing out, I think is almost like a mixture of warlock chicanery. They're giving out like celestial blood and like fueling their powers through that. He may be a full divine soul sorcerer 100% because he's part of the family line that, you know, his granddad is locked up and has maple syrup holes in him. That was disgusting. So yeah, well, anyways, good on all of us. We all figured that Sam Riegel was up to some stuff. I didn't think they were going to drop this knowledge so quickly, which makes me extremely excited for the rest of the show, because they are, I mean, this is episode 2. We're looking at 3 years of this. They are dropping bombs, and the plot is happening so quickly. They are establishing this world and this lore. It just hit really hard. So, again, Whitney Moore absolutely killing it. I love seeing Taliesin Jaffe and Marisha Ray. Those two characters together, the best. I was laughing my ass off. Both of them investigating in one of the coolest described museums I've ever heard of. The fact that, like, all these accidents have happened in the museum, and every time they have one of these magical accidents, they have to create a new system to make sure that doesn't happen again. But, you know, Taliesin, pitch perfect. What great chemistry between those two characters investigating that artifact. And sorry if I'm meandering a little bit. Just full disclosure, it was my anniversary yesterday. Our accidental anniversary. We didn't purposely get married, my wife Megan and I. So big shout out to my wife Megan. But we went to the courthouse to get our documents and our marriage certificate, and we didn't know it was going to be a full-on ceremony with the judge and everything. And it was insane because we took our lunch break to go get all our stuff signed, and we walked out of this courthouse and we were married, and it was insane. So yesterday was our anniversary, so I'm a wee bit tired. Thank you so much, I appreciate it. Our ceremony is October 31st. It's Halloween because we're weird. So yeah, Marisha's character is amazing. I absolutely adore Marisha's character, and Marisha and Taliesin together, those two characters, so good, so funny. I was absolutely dying. What else? The fact that the Celestials went feral the moment the gods died is insane. And then, and yes, I know I've been saying Thjazi wrong. It's Thjazi. I'm probably saying it wrong again because now I've got into my own head. So, the fact that the main character, the character who has died in all of this, has been collecting artifacts that deal with undeath, with taking souls to another plane of existence. And the fact that this kind of Veil-like world where you'd spend some time like a waiting room for the dead has expanded in some way. That description was interesting. So now we have the elven artifact, the relic that they're looking for, and they have this halfling coffin that is also a relic. That's very interesting. So it feels like Thjazi Fang has been collecting artifacts very specifically with the transition of souls to the next world, which again makes me really wonder about his execution, because this is a person who is dead. So, Todd Kenner, do you celebrate your anniversary twice a year? We do. Yeah, actually, we celebrate the anniversary of our first date. We celebrate our accidental wedding, and we celebrate our Halloween wedding. So all of them. Yeah. And don't forget, super chats are a great way to get my attention. Just simply because, they're a great way, and they support the channel. Super chats are super easy. Obviously we've got links to the Patreon page where we are, that helps support the channel, helps me fly out and do interviews with folks and all that stuff. But super chats and YouTube are actually pretty helpful actually so far. So, and they get my attention, and you get something out of it as well. That's pretty immediate. So, what else blew me away? I'm going to be completely honest. As a person who was recently laid off a few months ago from Wizards of the Coast and D&D, was it Long, the halfling dean of the wizard school? That broke my heart. I started actually crying. Little too close to home. When you are telling the dean of a wizarding school that they're not allowed to practice magic anymore, I died inside. It was so sad and so awful. It absolutely broke me. I think that's my favorite Brendan NPC ever, just because of what he's kind of saying about the state of the world and everything else. That just was, God, what was it? It wasn't Longbottom. It was like, Tall. I have to look it up. I'll have to look up this Dean wizard. Absolutely amazing. Also, I can't, the Marisha Ray weird comments alone. Snakes in the Pocket. I'm still on Snakes in the Pocket. That was the best. That has to become a t-shirt on the Critical Role store. That was insane. Yeah. Oh, Tall Barrel. That's right, Tall Barrel. I will live and die for Tall Barrel. If we don't see more Tall Barrel, the show is canceled. That halfling that broke me inside. It was so weirdly Harry Potter. We think it's best that we no longer practice magic at a wizard school. Just broke me inside. I don't know if anyone else was having the same reaction. And what we're seeing in this show right now is after the gods are dead, and now we have these houses. We are seeing kind of like an assault on intelligence, on fundamental structures that they need within this city, within this society, are being actively attacked. So we are moving at such a rapid pace in terms of plot line, and this is absolutely Brendan's wheelhouse and the kinds of things he thinks about, and frankly all of us think about. But to see that in a live play show so immediately, that is so that we can relate to in this kind of weird existential dread I think a lot of us are actually going through right now, is really remarkable. And I like episode 2 more than I like episode 1. I think there was a lot more levity in episode 2, and there was a lot more darkness, and boy, that plot is moving. This was 4 hours. It was longer than the last episode. It did not feel longer in any way. And yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of that 20s. They're rolling some 20s. I think Marisha Ray's character, yeah, it is a Kentucky accent, 100%. Great. What great chemistry we have, and such an eclectic cast. The chemistry is just wild right now, and we're only on episode 2, so I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm curious. Parallels between Alex and Sam's characters, for sure. I'm curious how that's going to extend. I love how trusting Sam Riegel has been with his character too. I can't believe we got here so fast. I thought Sam's, they had to know because they're showing his character sheet. He's largely a charisma caster. So the fact that he even thought he was a priest, but I did watch the cooldown as well. And I did like that, Bren described they had to loop him in because he was not just gullible. He was starting to figure out that things didn't make sense for his family and for the beliefs of their church. So the fact that Sam's character was figuring all that stuff out, and they had to loop him into the angel that is in an Iron Maiden, it's insane. Wow, what a drop at the end. You can't do them all that way. We're gonna run out of story. Yeah, privatizing the state security, the wildness, and when they start separating out this show into 3 different, essentially campaigns going back and forth, it's just going to be wild. But they're really establishing it very quickly. Todd Kenrick, do we think that we got a preview of the final tables this episode? I'll be honest. I just finished it. I couldn't watch it last night. It was my anniversary. I wanted to, hang out with my wife. I watched it at 1.5 times speed all morning, which will melt your brain. But good acting, solid, amazing. So I haven't had time to think about where the tables are going to end up. I really hope that Taliesin and Marisha are on the same table, and I think they are the Seekers. I think she's still playing a divination wizard. In fact, she kind of made this odd comment where she's like, well, I might know that you're doing this thing. And Taliesin's like, you would not. And it gave off real divination. I'm playing a divination wizard kind of vibes, personally. Getting some chats. I'm trying to respond to them because I only see super chats in one window. Any preference so far for what the tables will be? Personally, I think I'm already in love with the Thieves Party. I love Skullduggery. I was actually talking to my wife. It's kind of fascinating that I've been role playing since I was 8 years old, and I was telling my wife Megan this morning. She's the first person who really broke me out of old notions about what characters are in terms of role playing. So Megan played this, very ethereal warlock elf before, and that was very much her first character. Her second character was a Dhampir gnome who had been infected by Strahd von Sarovich, which all happened in game. Played a wizard. And she played a wizard because she didn't enjoy playing an artificer or artillerist. She didn't feel it was powerful enough. So she just decided, okay, well, my spellcasting device is a gun. It's a rifle. So she's casting fireball and lightning, all this stuff out of this gun. And she sounds like Bill Burr and Natasha Lyonne had a baby. And that's when I realized you don't have to play towards type. Okay, great. You're playing a wizard. Why not play a Kentucky wizard accent who has this weird down, this strange, country wisdom, but is a genius. That's why I love what Marisha's doing. And it reminds me of what my wife Megan is always looking for. right now, actually, Megan, my wife Megan, actually ran me on a game where I was playing a sea druid, and I love the movie The Fog. I love creepy stuff having to do with the ocean, and I realized immediately as I started playing this character, I always go a little bit skullduggery. That this is going to a certain point. I turned my druid into a pirate, basically, with like a scimitar, and he was an ocean druid, and I mean, he doesn't hate nature, or he doesn't have a dislike of nature. He's a druid, but he is also just a flat out pirate. He's a magical pirate, and you don't expect that from a druid. So, um, you got another message. You know that this is a Brennan campaign when the the main enemies are religion and capitalism in the second episode. Yeah, this is my favorite thing that I think my favorite thing that Brennan has ever done. Maybe his impression of Sauron, uh, his impression of Trump doing Sauron. That clip absolutely breaks my soul. Ashley's just killing it. Oh yeah, Ashley and Laura's scene, fantastic. Laura makes me cry. I'm kind of scared of Laura's scenes. I'm gonna be completely honest. She comes out swinging hard. The fact that she went to Thjazi's body and stole some of the trinkets that people left behind. So charming. So what we do know now is that this man who was executed, who died, was betrayed. Someone betrayed them, created a magical item, knew that people would not physically inspect it, but changed the magic on it so that he could not be saved from his execution. It's interesting. How would they 100% know that he would only be scanned for the magical item? That's really important. So that either means it was Thjazi who literally had a bit. I feel like this character is like the Kaiser Sose of this whole show. There's something really strange going on with this whole situation of that magic being illusion and conjuration. All of that makes sense. I just feel like he didn't want to be saved. And I could be completely wrong. Because this is a roguish character that has been actively acquiring relics that will take you to the afterlife or associated with the afterlife. And these are two of the relics that they're aware of so far. So something much, much bigger and fundamental to the entire infrastructure of this universe is going on. And this is episode 2. Yeah, I think I mean, Celestial Warlock would make sense because, you know, if he was stealing the magic, but he is so Sam's character is directly related now to a Celestial and Angel. So I still think Divine Soul Sorcerer is going to be in the cards. I could be wrong, for sure. Divine Soul Sorcerer. I mean, we have lots of charisma casters now, so that's just how it is. I love Sam's killing it because he's willing to look stupid in the first 2 episodes or naive. So that character arc is going to be, I think, pretty damn wild. That's my impression. By the way, thank you everyone for hanging out. This is nuts that we have 217 people today. I know it's not like 500 like last week, but I expect there's going to be a drop-off as people need to catch up to the episodes. Oh yeah, Thimble. God, Thimble's ride or die. Everyone needs a friend like Thimble. Holy crap. And the gifting of Thimble. And there's this... I love... Brennan killed it. Well, like, it's a wish from a fairy is no small thing. That made me cry. That was a moment. Yes, I love the mystery box of this. This is the biggest mystery box live play show I think I've ever seen, and certainly for Critical Role as well, which has always been good with plots and mysteries. But Brendan, I suspect, has a warehouse full of red string and notes. Uh, mm. But what else? I feel like I wish I should have been taking notes while I was watching the show. What stood out to all of you? And I'm going to start having guests on the show, so I have a back and forth with someone on camera. I think if this show keeps on doing well, the stream, um, I'm honestly thinking about focusing the channel more and more on Critical Role and Daggerheart and all that stuff. I'm just having a lot of fun actually, because I was never given the opportunity to get so hyper focused on Critical Role before, just because of time, and I worked at a different company, so. Oh God, Matt's killing it. Matt's character I mean, he feels like a Lannister, but he's like an amalgamation of lots of Lannisters. But you can see now a little bit of why his character is the way his character developed. So I've always said it. I love Matt playing just a piece of shit, and now we're going to slowly see and unravel why he is. Yeah, no, yeah. The magic is interesting. Now, I think we're gonna keep on seeing how the weave and how magic is kind of busted. I love they're really hammering home demons have been around, and there are things older than the gods. That's the other thing I mentioned. I felt like the gods had actually suppressed knowledge, and it became very clear that the gods had actually been suppressing the druids in some way to establish their own power, and then it was not wildly talked about that there were creatures older than the gods. And on top of this, there were no celestials until the gods showed up, and the moment the celestials were gone, they went completely feral. You know, it kind of reminds me of how the undead work actually in D&D, and I don't always play undead this way, but if you lose control of your skeletons and your zombies that use Animate Dead on, or any monster that you create with the Animate Dead spell, they will turn on you, and they will just go chaotic murder town. And that's why I'm kind of getting the impression. And that's the same thing for like demons. When you conjure up a demon or something like that, they will do the same thing. So are these angels in fact really angels? Or were the celestials always demons in the first place? That's what I'm kind of trying to figure out, because something really is nefarious about all the gods and suspect. And I'm starting to wonder, are the gods even gods? That's the other thing that's digging into me a little bit, but we'll have to see. But yes, very anti-capitalism, very our current state of affairs in the world, and very religious focused as well. I'm really enjoying it. Todd Kenrick, what do you enjoy? Oh, that's very kind. Yeah, no, I'm having a blast. I love the show. I do watch it at I think I may stick to mornings watching it. It's hard for me to stay up that late. I'm going to be completely honest, but we'll see. I wish I could do these reactions sooner, but I feel like kind of afternoon is a good time for people to like unpack what we just watched. Yeah, well, look at how invested the demons are. First off, the demons are very invested in Sam Riegel's character, so like that's a whole thing to unpack right there. In that oh yeah, the mask was fantastic. Yeah, the aspirant demons, boy, I'm loving that plot. So good. The god killing swords. Oh yeah, the orcs. God, the fact that the orcs made the blades that were capable of killing the gods. I love it. I feel like there was some orc lore drops that I didn't completely absorb. And I'm obsessed with orcs and goblins. Oh yeah, but we did learn. So Bren did do an article, I think with Variety or somebody else, where he specifically talked about. So we do know that the orc god of suffering and war is the first one that the orcs actually decide to fight, which I love. I love understanding that, because the fact that this god was a god of suffering and war for the orcs, and the orcs rose up against this god, and other mortals did as well. That the fact that the other gods closed ranks to protect each other. It's very, Roman. In fact, actually, most mythology is that way. The gods didn't like you messing with other gods. Always punishable. So the fact that these gods work the same way is interesting in a live play show. That they ultimately got themselves all offed because they refuse to see mortals as having worth. And I feel like there's a scam still happening. And you know what this kind of reminds me of? It's a show that didn't get a season 2. And this is how I ran a trickery domain cleric as Avron. And he was always doing sus stuff with faith and all that stuff. But like, this reminds me of Chaos with Jeff Goldblum. It is a wild show about Zeus. But it's got kind of this 1970s, 80s kind of vibe. It's a really bizarre show. I feel like that's how the gods were. So if you have some spare time, you want to watch an absolutely bonkers weird show, Chaos with a K, for sure. Oh, God, Abria and Liam just murdering it. I totally believe there was a relationship there. What great acting. That's right, the Klingons did start off by killing their gods. Good point. Weird. You just unlocked a part of my brain that has been dusty for years. How did Brennan let Abria off easily? I don't know. Oh, yeah. I think Chaos is on Netflix or Prime. I can't remember. God, I'm so curious. Luis is also... God, Luis dealing... we have restructuring. Watching Luis... It was not on my bingo card to watch Luis Carrazzo have to deal with restructuring in an episode of a live play show. I don't know what Brendan's doing. I am here for it. I'm obsessed with this show. I don't say that lightly. 4 hours is a massive commitment, but God, the story is good. Yeah, Thjazi's shadow. Oh, again, hints of the shadows. I think it feels like Thjazi had like Echo Knights. Is an Echo Knight or something. Something is not adding up, right? I love the mask. I love everything going on with Talison's character. Bollier is a very Taliesin character. But stick to what you know and what you love. I love the curator of a museum, and he's leaning in hard on that stuff. Again, thank you for being on the in chat right now. If I'm a little bit lower energy, it's only because it was I'm tired. Yeah, I actually love Orcs. God, what species is my druid? This show made me more excited to play because I've been playing the same character since I was 8 years old, and I love that character. And everyone is a crowd pleaser every time I play him in like a one shot or whatever. Feel like him because he's kind of like Deadpool and Loki combined. And he remembers every edition of D&D, so he's kind of broken inside because he has like the fourth wall. He's a fourth wall breaker. I still like my druid pirate. I love the idea of a druid pirate. I had so much fun playing that character. Using nature against people to rob them. I still argue, by the way, that druids are actually better thieves than thieves. Everyone's a better thief than a thief, by the way. It needs to be said. Wizards are better thieves than thieves. Artificers are better thieves than thieves. And druids are like the ultimate thief. So. Oh man, the father relationships are busted in this show. It's so wild. Yeah, Sam is not a cleric. I think. By the way, these stats are out of control. I don't know. They're not. Does anyone know if they're point buys or did they roll the dice to make these rolls? I do like that Laura Bailey is playing a level 3 strength fairy. But there are some people at level 3 with multiple 18s. These could not have been a point buy thing. This had to have been like rolling 4 dice and getting the best one or whatever that kind of stuff is. God, they have better dice rolls than I had when I was a little kid. Averin, who was a ranger by the way, I think he had a 17 and a 15, and that was pretty nuts. 18, multiple 18s is just bizarre. Wild Shape is so good for stealing. I'm telling you right now, I'm leaning hard into this new my druid character. I made him last year. Actually, on our anniversary, my wife we were by the ocean. My wife wanted to run me on a D&D game, so I had a lot of fun. Yeah, thieves are different. I love the skullduggery of a thief. The thing is, like, I like the idea of playing a shady character who shouldn't be shady. So, I know it's not. There is a feat that gives you expertise. It's not in the 2024 core rules. It's in 2014. I think I just like the idea of a druid who has expertise in sleight of hand and one other skill, so they feel like a good thief, and then that's it. Thimble's great. Laura Bailey needs to calm down. Too good. Laura Bailey is just, God, what a good actor. What a great character. And I wouldn't say a quote-unquote screen time. What she does with the time that she has as a character is insane. Yeah, just fantastic. Everyone's so talented. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to do super chats. That helps the channel, by the way, for sure. I feel like I'm missing something. So I love the political situation. Clearly, the houses are going after basically the most intelligent of everyone. Like, they're going after wizards. Hey, wizards, don't cast magic anymore. There feels like there's kind of this monopolizing of what magic is, and also just, monitoring, privatizing the soldiers and everything else. That's also insane. So I'm tense about season 3. I do like the idea of characters who are very tiny but have extreme strength for no reason. I know. I thought Thimble. Dude, Thimble. Is Thimble just the person who's constantly in mortal danger? Jesus. That's 2 episodes. And Laura Bailey's and, like, is in or out of a burlap sack. I mean, like, it's just constant. Thimble's going to go rage and murder a whole bunch of people in one episode. I'm curious where that character is going to go. Yeah, I'm trying to think else. I feel like I absorbed a lot, but, like, I don't have it all in my brain right now. So I'm going to take better notes for sure. Yeah, fairies are great for backstab. Dude, fairies and sneak attack. It's perfect. Love the idea. And what you can do with that, like I said, you could play a fairy and blow right through someone's ear and out the other ear. Like, that would be such a great crit. If Laura Bailey ever gets a crit for sneak attack, should just burrow right through someone's brain. Yeah. They're harvesting Sam's grandfather. Wild that we are there already. Episode 2. Absolutely insane that we got here. I love the changing of the tables and the weird frenetic energy, by the way, when everyone has to pick up their dice and all their shit, and then, and then everyone has to run in very quickly. I love that we're not editing around that to make it feel fake or false. Yeah. Oh, I love the description of the wizarding house and having the little bridges for all the familiars. I thought that was brilliant. Well, what a beautiful piece of world building that was. So, So one house is literally harvesting a celestial. I think clearly Matt is going to be. I don't know. Maybe he's not a soldier. Maybe he will be. I think he's the skullduggery. That's why he's got that dip into thief. Liam's is killing the acting. Liam's. Him and Abrea just stole the show. Everyone stole the show at some point, but like it was great seeing Liam and Abrea have a back and forth. They also mentioned, that's the other thing. They mentioned that there were not undead before. There were not long-term undead creatures until the gods were vanquished. Right? They mentioned the Celestials, but they mentioned that almost like undead did not exist until the gods had died. That was interesting. I did treat myself to a pumpkin spice latte. That has a lot of sugar. What else? So where do we think this plot is going? I think we're going to... I can feel the wildness in these introduction episodes of we're going to have episodes with one table that is all about warfare. Oh, that's why I think war is breaking out 100%. War will pop off. That's going to happen, and the soldiers will very much be the boots on the ground being part of that war. So in the trenches, that's one table. That's the soldiers. The Seekers, are going to be the ones who are really trying to figure out how the underworld and how death and everything else has been sundered, broken, what's actually going on. The Seekers, that's what they're going to be about. So traversing the underworld of the planes. The fact that we already have a portal to the other side in a halfling casket is insane. And I'm curious what the skullduggery folks are going to be up to. God, yeah, are the dead... When Brendan also mentioned the fact that they don't know what happened to the people who were in the afterlife, did they dissipate? Did they stop existing? Are all the souls gone? That's wild. Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty wild. Am I missing any particular point in terms of a reaction? Fantastic acting, and I think we're really kind of getting the vibe of how the different tables are going to function. Did I miss some chats? I feel like the Seekers are going to full-on leave this plane of existence. Yeah, something's gonna happen. Oh, yeah. A wild Megan. Sorry, I'm just yammering about the show.
Nice. My ears were burning.
I'm sorry. I love you. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, yeah, I don't know what all is going to go on with Travis's character, Teor. We're definitely learning more, and he has a bit of divine spark in him, which is interesting. Yeah, I think Liam will inevitably be part of the schemers. I love bards. Actually, I like Valor bards the most. Yeah, I think I don't think everyone's going to be on type for the tables, otherwise it wouldn't be interesting necessarily. I will wish her a happy anniversary. She is the best human being I've ever known. Yeah, anyways, so yeah, this might be a shorter stream, but those are my impressions. I love that we have established some lore, and I'll probably do some breakaway videos about these topics ahead of time, in lieu of next week. But I love the idea that they're harvesting celestials and that they're running around rabid is wild. Like, that's so dangerous. What a great lore drop by Brennan. Yeah, they rolled 5d6 and removed the two lowest. Yeah, it kind of feels like that. Are you serious? Is that how they roll? Because my day was 3d6, and then eventually we got to 4d6 and removed the lowest. If they're rolling 5d6, that's wild. I still feel like Thjazi is up to something. And if the afterlife is this way, then where is Thjazi? If he is dead, and he was collecting items that take you to the other side, this all feels like a giant manipulation by Thjazi. I'm probably being really paranoid, but sorry, there's a rogue who actively has been part of a revolution, who fought against the gods, who is collecting relics about the afterlife, and didn't seem all that invested in his rescue. Something is not connecting. Oh, interesting. 5d6. Okay, well, that explains the wild-ass stats that everyone has. 5d6. I mean, you want to feel like heroes, but you're already statted up to the 9s. 5d6 is wild. Actually, I love that Matt was in Beacon chat. That's lovely. I was very mad at him. Yeah, I feel like... I mean, what's Thjazi's best way to get to the afterlife other than being executed? And if you're going to... If death is the answer for Thjazi, why not have some type of political ramification? It's like a whole stack of dominoes have been knocked over by this guy. Yeah, the shadow thing we gotta figure out. And like you mentioned, yeah, Thjazi in that flashbacks. Holy crap, wild that we just getting random flashbacks. But the fact that Thjazi had shadows himself, which kind of felt like they were mirror images or like an Echo Knight kind of thing. And that one shadow followed. Matt's character is interesting. Yeah. I think Thjazi is either the big bad of this entire show. I mean, I want to call it. I want to say it's him. Or it's one of the characters at one of the tables is actually the villain. I don't suspect Sam Riegel's character as much now. Other than he was just kind of a doof. I mean, not even a doof. His character was already figuring out that something was really sus. But that character's got a pretty amazing arc. So, yeah. Yeah, the Thjazi, was he trying to figure out how to become a Celestial? Very focused on those who shepherd the dead. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Alan Wilkinson. Add Playhouse better before the cold open, maybe. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, no, I did like watching the acting though between Tierney and Sam though. Yeah, I think they already knew everyone knew that Sam was sus because they saw his character sheet. So they weren't really hiding this very hard. They know who Critical Role fans are. They know who critters are. Everyone's going to figure this shit out right away. So everyone saw those charisma stats and it didn't make any damn sense. So they knew everyone was going to suspect Sam from the get. They're playing it really smart. They're not wasting time, for sure. Yeah, I like I love me a flashback. For sure. Well, let me know if you still like this format. We'll keep on doing this on Fridays. I do want to start making more concise ones about theories. I'm so glad I didn't come out with a Sam video the day before the show. I would have been totally wrong. Yeah, I mean, it'd be pretty wild for him to be a little hat on the hat for him to still be like, because I was wondering right until the end if he was like the genius behind everything, Sam Riegel's character. Thimble's killing it. But yeah, Wikander, I really like Wikander as a character now. Oh, I don't remember how they handled Chetney. I like Robbie Damon's character. He's fun. Oh yeah, I think we're getting. I don't think we've gone the theme. Yeah, I don't think we've gone the theme. I don't think this is all pre-show, by the way, which is wild. So I think we'll get the full theme um, once everyone breaks off. I really need to get into the houses and fully absorb. It's hard for me to kind of keep track of all these different houses right now. I'm gonna look at some wikis for sure. I kind of want to be the expert in campaign 4 lore. I don't know why, because there's enough to chew on every episode. It's so wild. So, I even watched a little bit of episode 1 again yesterday to kind of like refresh my brain. What else? Thank you again for everyone who super chat. I don't think I missed anyone who sent a super chat. If I did, I'm really sorry. I apologize. Well, let me know what other Critical Role or Daggerheart content you would like to see me cover. I feel like I should have gone to New York Comic Con now, to be honest, because I'm really excited for the Mighty Nine. But oh well, that would have been insanely expensive. New York is one of the most expensive cities to visit sometimes. Well, I think that's it for now. I feel like it's a little brief. We're gonna get another surprise appearance by my lovely wife, who I've been married to for 10 years.
10 years!
10 years!
Hello, chat!
Everyone says hi, by the way, and says congratulations.
Thank you!
Oh, I think... Okay, that was weird. The blindfold... I think that's still Thjazi. But yeah, it's exactly what I thought of. So the fact that Sam Riegel's character was also wearing a blindfold, and because the celestial light was going to pour out of his eyes if he didn't, the fact that Thjazi's cover art has him wearing a blindfold. Did he wear a blindfold at the execution? Is that 100%? Is Thjazi now have celestial energy in him, and he's wearing the blindfold to cover that up? I think that's a very strong theory. Oh, she's my best friend. I want hundreds of thousands of years. So, well, my eyes are a little tired. And I'll be a lot healthier next week. There was no blindfold at the execution. That's a red flag, folks. If being celestial means glowing light pours out of your eye holes, and that is a little piece of lore that Brennan dropped about Sam's father, then something's weird. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so... Oh, man. If Thjazi's the only god... If Thjazi has taken the seat of power of the gods in the afterlife, he is the villain. He is Sauron. I love the idea that Thjazi could be Sauron, basically, for this show. And they all have a connection to him. Why not do that? That's the best show. You are building up. Again, I said in the last couple of streams that we did about this. Build up the villain. You have a wake for the villain in episode 1, and constantly talk about how you are all related to him and how much you loved him or didn't love him and blah, blah, and it turns out he is the big bad, you will never be more invested in the downfall of that villain. So, I hear a wild dog.
He wouldn't make it in the wild.
Our dog would not make it in the wild. not for 2 seconds. He has no sense that anything would ever be mean to him. Well, I think that's it for me. I appreciate all of you. I'm gonna have a breakfast sandwich and take a nap. But yeah, I think Thjazi is still the big bad. That's my vote right now. But I appreciate all of you. I'll see you next week, I hope. And yeah, let me know what other types of content you'd like to see in the